This is really sad news today. Ernie Gygax was one of the real ones out there, guys. He was really cool, and of course, super great to all the fans out there. Was one of those guys who just loved the people and loved the community, and he gave as much as he possibly could to the community. And unfortunately, he passed away, which was reported this morning. And God rest his soul, everybody, as we talk about Ernie Gygax and a little bit about what he did for the tabletop RPG genre in Dungeons and Dragons and the like. And he was just getting going, really, in the last few years with a new iteration of TSR, which would have been so cool if it would have materialized, but that's another story. We'll talk about it a little bit here in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things here in tabletop gaming, especially when it comes to fantasy like Dungeons and Dragons. I am a fantasy writer myself, and I would love for you to check out my 6-book series right here, which is called The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. It's an airship crew that's adventuring, fighting monsters. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, I think you're really going to love this. It'll be a cool thing for you to enjoy. I'd love to have an RPG setting done of this someday, and it's on the agenda. There's a lot of agenda out there, but this is good stuff, and lots of swashbuckling fun. Lots of entertainment. It's all available on ebook, print, and audio for your convenience. So check it out. It's in the description below. And thank you so much for reading, guys. You've made a wonderful year for us so far. And I can't wait. The best is yet to come. Let's get into Ernie Gygax here. So if you don't know who Ernie Gygax is, he's the son of Gary Gygax. Gary is the man who invented Dungeons and Dragons and is one of the most legendary people in tabletop gaming of all time. And Ernie was his son, and he actually sat at the table on the early Dungeons and Dragons games, was playing with his dad. This is cool. This is exactly what tabletop gaming is supposed to be. It's supposed to be playing with your families. I mean, I've played with my children. It's been wonderful stuff. And that is really the heart of gaming right there. You got your friends, you got your family, you bring them around a table, you have some fun together, you invent some stories together. I mean, this is it goes back to our, classic roots of humanity, right? And that's why this is so popular. That's why this has endured so far. That family element, that communion element is a wonderful, wonderful thing that we've lost a lot in the complete modern days. But yes, Ernie was a part of that. He played in the games, and he actually had some stuff in the games named after him. Tensor is a character that appears a lot in the early D&D stuff. There's a Tensor's floating disc spell, which is one of the most famous spells in Dungeons and Dragons. And Tensor is an anagram of Ernest, which is what Ernie is short for. So he's definitely ingrained in the lore. He's memorialized forever, which is great. And I love that that's in there. Now, he's done a ton over the years. If you guys don't know, he published Gygax magazine, which is in the last iteration of TSR, which was a fantastic magazine. If you can find copies of it, it's pretty cool. It celebrates D&D history. On top of that, he also tried to revive TSR in 2021, bring back some cool games. I was really excited for this because he was going to re-release classics like Star Frontiers. Star Frontiers is a game, of course, that really doesn't get love, and it really should. But it's from the original group out there, and it's, of course, a science fiction iteration of this. And those were held up, unfortunately. Legal challenges. Wizards of the Coast really did everything they could to hold them down because Hasbro is an evil corporation, and they just want to protect their IP, right? Unfortunately, this type of thing and allowing this type of thing and allowing the son of your original founder to, re-release old games and do things like that would have been a good thing for your IP. It would have been good for your PR, but hey, it is what it is. I can't control Hasbro. I can complain about them all the time, which I do on the channel. But there's really a lot of what could have been over the last few years here that Ernie Gygax was developing with a lot of his buddies that were really exciting stuff that I was hopeful for. And hopefully some of his legacy gets continued on afterwards with this. So he posted on February 8th saying, "As I lie in a hospital the night before the Super Bowl, I take time to pray that somehow Donna saw a spark of creative, loving cuddly bear hidden inside a fat, drunken man who had given up a long life, let alone romance, if lifelong complete partnership with a woman of my dreams." Very sweet. She told me early that alcohol and a relationship were never going to be attempted again. She'd been far too responsible as a businesswoman, and I as a provider of a single mother of 3 boys. She didn't just kick me to the curb. Donna told this man who imbibed a quart of 100 proof bourbon each day. Instead, she said I was a fine fellow, and I could ask her out again if I was sober for a year. Goal accepted, and after a handful of years of joyfully dating, we displayed our mutual total love on September 7th in Geneva Lake Museum, in the place where my father's legacy honored Gary Gygax's room. Donna is such a selfless and beautiful mate. This is so pretty. What a beautiful tribute to his wife, who worked very hard to keep me going and best medical aid, even to the point of sitting in uncomfortable chairs overnight as I could slip in and out of consciousness. Tomorrow she's going to be coming back to watch the big event on a mid-sized screen in a hospital min speaker. So far, she spends a night or two in thriftiest hotels she can find. She drives my 2000 Buick Century almost an hour or two. Truly, we don't have the funds for this, let alone 4 to 7 weeks of antibiotic IVs each and every day, each session. Any real collector may examine my collectible treasures. This would not be a thrift or fire sale. It's an attempt to get needed aid without my doing another GoFundMe. When my health allows, I will run planned first edition games towards my medical expenses and old vehicle repairs. My bride is incredible, such love and commitment, and I have had a chance to meet with an angel. So it's very sad that these guys who are such legends and such creative talent really don't get a lot of reward. I mean, that they can't pay their hospital bills. I mean, just terrible stuff right here. But he was trying towards the very end, and of course, trying to, if with this, he's promising the fans, I'm going to play games with you. I mean, how in this hospital bed, this is how committed to the community this guy was. Just a beautiful, beautiful thing right here, and such a nice tribute to his wife as well. Now, this morning, unfortunately, we learned that he passed away. It's as we grieve, let's keep his mom, Mary Gygax, his wife Donna, and all of his brothers and sisters and friends in your prayers. We will do that here for sure. Many of you who knew him as a man loved life and loved to play. We will remember him as a fighter. We will dearly miss him. As you can understand, this is a difficult time for the whole family, especially for Luke Gygax, who flew in overnight trying to make it to say one last goodbye. Luke will make a post as soon as he's able to. So sad stuff, my friends. And this, I'm sorry for the heavy video, but this is something we should be talking about. We got to remember Ernie Gygax, and like I said, he was one of those ones who was real ones, and you saw in that his post, even in the hospital, he's talking about playing with fans and stuff. Here's Kevin Lamb, who's a big D&D expert on X, worth the follow if you guys are on X over there, and he posted about it. And posted about the situation here, and posted his hanging out with Ernie Gygax as well. He says, "Farewell, Ernie. See you on the other side," and then gives a sign of the cross for him. And beautiful stuff right there. And Clownfish TV actually reacted to it as well, saying he's passed, pour one out for him and his family. I talked to Ernie once for a couple of hours. He was a very genuine person who was passionate about gaming, gamers, and his father's legacy. R.I.P. Sad stuff, guys. But God bless Ernie Gygax and his family. You guys have done more for our hobby than anybody could have ever imagined. You and your father were absolute legends, and God rest your soul, my friend. I hope heaven finds you well. And that's that. Leave your comments down below. Have you had any interactions with Ernie Gygax? Would love to hear from you and see those. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Please check out our books here, starting with For Steam and Country, a great series of fantasy that if you're a D&D player, I'm very sure you'll love. It's in the description below. Thank you, guys, and God bless all of you.